Yesterday, we went ahead and regraded the 2020 NFL draft class. If you haven't checked that out, bam, it's going to be in the iCard somewhere if you want to go and look at that. But today, we actually do a redraft of the 2020 NFL draft class. Yes, a few things have changed. I'm taking the pre-draft order, so no trades done during the draft. None of those. So, original draft order going into the draft. And yeah, let's have a lot of fun. I'm sure it'll spark a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, some of that good, sensual football discourse we like to have. So let me know in the comment section below of what you think or what you would do differently. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So let's go ahead, do the gosh darn diggity thing. There will be no streams this week. I'm out camping. I actually pre-recorded the next, you should be getting the next 3 deep dives for NFL teams and the predictions for the 2021 season. Those were recorded on Sunday, so hopefully not too much change between Sunday and then Monday through, or Wednesday through Friday. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's start this sucker off. I'm excited. So if I'm the Bengals, obviously you're not changing anything. Joe Burrow, man. You just got to build that line around him. But Joe Burrow, excellent pick. I don't think we need to talk much about this. This is where things get a little different. Washington, obviously, I didn't believe Dwayne Haskins was the franchise quarterback going into this class, and it is for how great Chase Young has been. I still think the quarterback position is the most valuable position on any NFL roster, in any NFL organization. If you could get that right, then it'll improve your teams by leaps and bounds. So I'm going to go ahead with Justin Herbert. What we saw last year, yes, he was actually really good in a lot of volatile NFL or volatile categories, such as like how he was under pressure, how he was throwing downfield, how he was on third downs. Those are categories where you often see the names at the top just shift because they're very volatile. So how much will he regress from a very good rookie season? That is yet to be seen. But what we saw the arm talent, we saw the skill, we saw the ability to push it downfield, saw enough to be like, this guy can be a franchise quarterback. With that being said, the Detroit Lions, I know Jeffrey Okudah, he kind of had a rough season. It didn't help that he had the abdominal injury. It didn't help that his first 2 games were against DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams. I expect him to be much better this time around, but still, you don't pass on Chase Young. He is the edge rusher that they need. Not to say it's enough to save Matt Patricia's job, but at least the new organization has probably a superstar Pro Bowl edge rusher. Now, I'm not going to change this pick too much with the New York Giants. I think they got the position right. And I will say I neglected this too, where I didn't, and I will admit, like when it comes to the offensive line, it's probably when it comes to evaluation, for me, the toughest. I rely a lot on win rates, but it just how it's a tough position to evaluate. There's a lot of technique, there's a lot of skill that's involved, especially with the tackle position. And I think I undervalued how valuable explosiveness is at the position. We're not going to do that this time around. We're going to go with Tristan Wirfs. He should have been the first guy off the board. And I think I actually predicted this a few times because I just figured Gettleman would love a physical, athletic freak like him, but it's what it is. Now, full disclosure, I am a Miami Dolphins fan. And I think they made the right decision by going after a quarterback, being the most valuable position on the roster. And I would do the same thing. I'm going with Tua Tagovailoa, not Jordan Love. We'll see. We'll know more about him this year, but until then, it's like I still kind of believe in what we've seen. I think it's still first round worthy. And if I'm the Dolphins, you need that quarterback. You missed out on the other 2, so we're going to go with it here. Superchargers, man. No Justin Herbert. That'd be nice. Phillip Rivers is with the Colts at this point, right? So they're going to be relying on Easton Stick. So let's at least get him some protection. We're going to stick, pun intended, with what they did this year. We're going to get some protection on the offensive line. It was a real coin toss between Mekhi Becton and Jedrick Wills Jr. I ended up going with Becton. I think he'd be a good fit here. And really, any and all help on that offensive line is necessary. So maybe they go quarterback the following year. Now, with the Carolina Panthers, they went Derek Brown. That's too high, in my opinion. I know some of you will be like, oh, Derek Brown, but he was pretty darn good last year. Yes, but defensive interior, it's not really a valuable position. Not more valuable than pass rush, not more valuable than outside pass rush, I should say, and not more valuable than just pass coverage. So I'm going to go with coverage, and I think despite his struggles, Jeffrey Okudah is still the top corner in this class. I think he will look a much better. Keep in mind, you're basing this off 1 year, so I think he'll be better down the line. I'm gonna stick with that evaluation. The Arizona Cardinals, this was the Isaiah Simmons pick. We're not gonna do that though. We're gonna get them a wide receiver. You might be like, what, wide receiver? They just got D-Hop though. Yeah, let's get someone scary on the other side that could stretch the field. I'm going with Justin Jefferson. He is now the top receiver in this class. And I've admitted this before where I kind of relied too much on, man, he doesn't have many reps on the outside. He had a lot of free releases. I mean, he did all right in 2018 at playing on the outside, dealing with press. And I feel like I put too much value, too much stock in that. Yeah, I ended up giving, I think, Justin Jefferson a late first-round grade. I don't know. Hey, if you're an evaluator, or hey, shoot, if you're just a fan that likes to take a look at game film, you're always learning. I learned. Jacksonville Jaguars. This pick, I think I'm gonna stick with receiver because get more weapons for Gardner Minshew in his last stand. It's like the stand. It's a stand at the Alamo, man. That's what it is. He's a dead man walking at this point, but let's get some receiving help. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb, man. He was stupid impressive. I think he has the ability to play on the outside. We saw how vicious he was from the slot. I don't believe a guy like Laviska Shenault Jr. will probably make it to the second round. Or even to because the Jags, they got one more pick here. Yeah, I'm just going to go with the guy that's more well put together at this point is CeeDee Lamb. The Browns, I'm going to stick with Jedrick Wills. He, Kevin Stefanski, there we go. He knew exactly what he wanted. He was I wanted to get a nice, beefy, explosive left tackle. It worked out, Wills. I was a little. What was it? How would you word this? I wasn't entirely confident. There we go. With him moving from the right to the left side, ended up working out though. So we're gonna stick with that here. No tackle to speak of. For me, this is still a bit early for Andrew Thomas and Josh Jones. We don't know what really he's gonna end up being right now because he hasn't seen a lot of NFL time. I don't think Austin Jackson's a first rounder. I think he's a second rounder, a guy worth developing, but not a first rounder. So instead, let's just grab a receiver. They did get Denzel Mims. I think we're gonna get a guy with the same kind of physical profile, but just a much better athlete. In where are you at? Chase Claypool. There we go. I will admit, man, this guy was not the same player that we saw at Notre Dame that he was for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He looked a lot more comfortable. He was able to get separation, which was I could never see this guy separate in college. It's wild. It's wild how vastly different he is as a player. Las Vegas Raiders. All right, so they have 2 picks here. They made Henry Ruggs their pick here. And then, of course, they went with Damon Arnett. Let's go ahead. We're going to get the corner right now. We're going to just solve that problem. You reached for Arnett. You just did. So we're going to solve that right here, right now. We're going to go with my next corner on the board, which is going to be divisive among some of y'all. I'm going to go with CJ Henderson. There's a reason he was selected in the top 10. He has those high-end elite cornerback traits: length, speed, size. So we're going to go with them there. San Francisco 49ers, their next pick isn't until 31 because we're not doing trade downs. Or because they traded back up, during the draft, so they're dealing with that 31st pick instead. I believe that's what happened, right? I don't know. Regardless, or maybe I'm thinking about this trade right here, where the Bucks traded up to get Wirfs. Regardless, when it comes to this, I'm going Brandon Ayuk. He's a really good fit for Kyle Shanahan's scheme. Good complement to Deebo Samuel. And when Samuel's out, like he can do it on his own. He's not going to be around for probably the next pick. So let's get a guy that's extremely beneficial to Kyle Shanahan's system. Then no Tristan Wirfs. Sorry, Buccaneers fans. It is what it is. But hey, let's at least grab one of the other rookies that help lead that Bucs team to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with Antoine Winfield, man. I think he deserves it. The guy's just a playmaker in the secondary. What more can you ask for? Here, let me get that. There we go. All right. Now we got the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, they really struggled. At the corner position, they were starting a couple of rookies for a large part of the year. This is a big reason why they invested so much this past offseason. Patrick Surtain, Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, why they invest so much in making that corner position valuable. Instead, we're gonna address that right now. Not with Michael OJ Mudia. We're gonna go with Jalen Johnson. I think he is an ideal scheme fit. He's got that just a very calculated risk reward mindset and just how he plays the game. I love it. He's a great fit for Vic Fangio. And I think the Falcons, they actually had a solid pick here. Their secondary sucks. I think A.J. Terrell was the right call there. And I would say he was probably one of the more productive corners his rookie season in this class. Like him, Jalen Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed, I would put all in that category. The Dallas Cowboys, I really like the idea of them going CeeDee Lamb here. I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, he's not on the board here, but I think if they can do the same thing, go in Jerry Jeudy. He's very similar to CeeDee Lamb in that regard. There's a big reason why everybody had CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy as like 1A, 1B when it came to the receiver rankings. Judy's a guy that could sneak into the slot. And dude, I like it. A guy that can also play on the outside. Fabulous route runner, man. He's just good. The Miami Dolphins, so this is where I'm going to go with, I think he'd be a really good scheme fit. I think Brian Flores would be able to figure out how to utilize this guy from day one rather than it taking almost half the season for him to get really comfortable. I'm going to go with Isaiah Simmons. Yo, Raiders fans, you get to have your cake and eat it too. We're going to just stick with Henry Ruggs, get you that deep threat for Derek Carr, as the Raiders did become more of a team that was more willing to throw the ball downfield. Now, if they could incorporate some play action, then by God. I think at this point, I'm going to stop the fall of Derek Brown. I still think he's worth drafting in the top 20 to top 15. It's just the interior position. Like, really, if you don't have like a Chris Jones or Aaron Donald level player, then pressure up the interior doesn't really matter. Like, it's just not as disruptive. And especially in today's NFL where more quarterbacks are becoming mobile, you kind of want to close the pocket around them rather than have to force them out. Because then it might be like, okay, well, now we just screwed ourselves. This guy, he's going to roll out, either run or beat us deep. So, yeah, I'd much rather the closing of the pocket than the burst up the middle, so to speak. But Derek Brown, man, still solid. So they get him. They get CeeDee Lamb. I think that's a quality haul. And then 21, I'm going to stick with a receiver here because keep in mind, I think Carson Wentz can succeed, but when he really succeeded, it was when guys like Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey were healthy. So I think they got a Jalen Reagor thinking he could be a Deshaun Jackson off the bat. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But instead, I'm going to get a guy that I think is a really good at least compares well to Alshon Jeffrey. And I'm going to go with T. Higgins. The guy was really good last year. All right. Minnesota Vikings, man, really sucks that Justin Jefferson's off the board. But instead, let's do it a year early, and let's dress the interior of this offensive line and go with, and just look how far down he is on here. Michael Onwenu, I was extremely high on him going into the draft. He ends up falling to like the 6th round, I believe. And he ended up being one of the better offensive linemen in, like, not just rookies, but offensive linemen in the NFL. Wild. So yeah, it kind of sucks for New England that he is off the board here. I think I would have gone with him here. But let's grab, he feels like a Bill Belichick type of guy. I think he would love to kind of scheme stuff up for this guy. We're going to go with Jeremy Chin. He's got all the playmaking ability. It's just clean up on those missed tackles, son. But he has got the ability to play in the slot, in the box, and we'll find out if he can play deep this year. And then the New Orleans Saints, they wanted a linebacker, right? They ended up going with Zach Bond. Bit of a developmental guy. We're going to go with kind of a developmental guy, but a guy that could start immediately because he's so athletically gifted. Patrick Queen, man, you staying home. You staying home in New Orleans, baby. Who dat? Who dat? That's Patrick Queen. He a Bayou Bengal. The Minnesota Vikings, this is our second pick here. And this one was a bit tough. I like the Onwenu pick, but they desperately needed help in the secondary, especially at corner. That's why they kind of double dipped between here and day one with Gladney, and then I think it was day two with Cameron Dantzler. And speaking of which, I think Dantzler is going to be a fine corner in this league. I was pretty high on him going into the draft. Yeah, I know the combine didn't have a great 40, didn't have great length, or his length came in less than ideal. And yeah, no, I think he showed it that he can hang in this league. So I was close to going with Trevon Diggs, but I'm gonna stick with where are you at? I don't know why he's that far down. Cameron Dantzler. Like, looking back, there's some quality corners in this class. Speaking of which, Dolphins, we're gonna stick with that mindset. We're gonna go corner. They wanted Noah and Big Nagani. I'm just gonna grab where are you at? L'Jarius Sneed. He's going to be perfect fit for the defense. He could play outside. He could play in the slot. So, bam. Like, and you don't have to bring in Justin Coleman to come in play slot because you don't have that much faith in Noah and Big Nagani. You don't have to let him develop. But, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like, and, I mean, you could make a case that Sneed should go above Dantzler, and I think you're right in that opinion. But I think just Dantzler, and if I'm the Vikings, like, hey, man, he played well in hindsight for us, so why not stick with the same pick, you know? And plus, just better scheme fits. You always got to consider that. At 27, I'm going to go for the Seahawks just because this feels like a Seahawk pick. Javon Kinlaw, the guy's got huge upside. He will hopefully realize that. Very raw, but guy that could come in and help with that. That defensive line is just very short on, I was going to say depth, but even that, like, they don't have too many, like, solid starters there just yet. So go with Kinlaw. Hopefully he could be that in the future. The Baltimore Ravens, they ended up going with Patrick Queen here. And I don't think that was the wrong pick by any means. I think Queen's got huge playmaking ability. So I think let's go with Kenneth Murray, just because I really have faith that the Ravens, they know how to scheme these guys, how to develop these guys. And then at 29, the Tennessee Titans, the infamous Isaiah Wilson? I think. I can't even remember anymore. It's not like he was a Dolphin for a short period of time. But yeah, we're not going to go with that. We're going to go with Andrew Thomas, man. Down the stretch, he started looking a lot better, much more solid. I feel better about him, especially in this class, taking him at the tail end of the first round. So, bam, you actually get a guy that can be a for sure starter at right tackle in the future. The Green Bay Packers. Let's try to avoid pissing off Aaron Rodgers. Let's get him some help at receiver. If you don't think they need help at receiver, be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers can make it work with these guys. That's messed up, man. Get your boy help, dude. We're going to go with Laviska Shenault Jr. The guy was way more developed as a route runner than I expected his rookie season. So, yeah, man, sky's the limit. This guy's got a lot of big play potential. And then we're here with the San Francisco 49ers. I want to get them help in the secondary. They're pretty thin at the safety position, especially now. We could go honestly, we could go corner, but like outside, like Diggs isn't a bad decision here. Actually, he's a really good fit. Like I'll talk it out real quick with y'all. So I'm kind of stuck between Diggs, and I was also thinking Xavier McKinney or Grant Delpit. Like with McKinney, he didn't play but till the last few games of the season for the Giants. But at least he played. Delpit, we have no idea. None. But McKinney, we saw the dude's just a good football player. But like, man, they are exceptionally thin at corner by comparison to safety. I think I'm going to go corner, man. Yeah, we're going to go with Diggs. He's a really good scheme fit, too. Wow, man. Made that call. Initially, I was going to go with Xavier McKinney, and I made that call right now. Kansas City Chiefs. They want to go running back. Let's feature a running back in this class. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you who's currently, I think, is the best running back to come from this rookie class. Nah, it ain't Jonathan Taylor. Not in my opinion. I'm going with Antonio Gibson. That dude is a true threat. Home run threat. Whether it's in the passing game or in the running game. I'm not saying that he should have been a first rounder. I'm saying if we're going to pick a running back in the first round, he'd probably be my pick, especially with that offense. Kansas City, watch out. But I'd like to hear your opinions on where certain guys should have went. I think for the most part, this does look like a very promising class. And I think all the guys that went in this first round will end up working out pretty well. But let me know in the comment section below. And obviously, that's it for the video. There we go. Switch it over. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do that. YouTube theme. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.